Essential service workers are increasingly bearing the brunt of robberies. In one of the latest attacks, 2 firefighters from the Brackenfell Fire Station were ambushed and assaulted while responding to what turned out to be a fake call-out. The fire department says the 2 were attacked in the early hours of Saturday morning in Wallerstein. Earlier in the month, 2 paramedics were robbed of their personal belongings at gunpoint. Newzroom Afrika reported Nasipi Same tracking the story for us. Nasipi, good evening to you. This is just incredible that this happens, and yet these attacks seem to be on the rise.
Well, that is indeed true. According to the City of Cape Town Safety and Security, they are saying that they've been tracking the patterns of criminals attacking firefighters and EMS personnel and ambulances for the past 2 years, and the modus operandi seems to be the same. And they also noticed that there's been an increase in the number of fake call-outs to firefighters and also EMS personnel, where they're lured into these communities and ultimately attacked, robbed, and sometimes assaulted. And the recent one that you mentioned of the crew from Brackenfell on Saturday morning, they had stepped out of the vehicle to assess the smoke from the community, and in between the structures, that is when the gunmen emerged and ultimately assaulted and robbed them of their belongings. And the City of Cape Town is saying that taking into account that they've been monitoring these patterns for about 2 years, they have put in devices into fire truck engines where they have cameras installed to ensure that when the perpetrators are arrested, there is sufficient evidence to bring them to book. However, it seems like the criminals are a step ahead, and they are luring out the crew out of the vehicles and into the community when they are, committing these acts. And we do know that also EMS was attacked last week in Khayelitsha, Niue, where that specific area for that day was temporary red zoned. And that basically means that any EMS official, be it firefighters or EMS, before they enter into that community, they go in with a police escort. And basically that means that the person or people that need services will have to wait a bit longer, as we do know that SAPS in the Western Cape is under-resourced. So that would mean maybe 5 minutes to 25 minutes delay for the firefighters and EMS personnel before they enter into those red flag zoned areas.
This must make the emergency workers, incredibly scared to do their job. And speed is so important when you're going to go and help someone. And here they are in a position where they don't know if they're responding to a genuine call-out or not.
Well, that is indeed true. According to the EMS spokesperson, she says that many of the EMS personnel are working under very frustrating conditions, and having to enter into a red zone area is also something that brings a lot of trauma and emotion, especially to people who have fallen victim to criminals who attack the frontline workers. And we do know that according to the City of Cape Town, they are saying that the province has invested a substantial number of money, including men on the boots, or rather men on the ground, in 5 identified areas where law enforcement officers, or Metro Police rather, will be sitting in a number of schools in 5 identified areas, waiting for a call out from EMS or firefighters, waiting for them to be escorted, which obviously will help with the response time to EMS and firefighters. But we do also know that from the beginning of this year alone, up until today, EMS has registered about 58 assault cases assaults on their workers while on duty. So the numbers are extremely high, and as much as there is a space for firefighters and EMS personnel to approach the police and be escorted into the area, sometimes, like sometime in this year, EMS personnel had requested for an escort, and police also fell under attack when they arrived on scene, only to find out that it was a fake call, and criminals ended up attacking the police when the EMS officials arrived there. So it is indeed a very a big concern for the city of Cape Town, who say that the issue is not just immune to Cape Town. It's an issue an issue where we've seen in Gauteng and in other parts of the country, but they are saying that they're trying to work around the problem and also try and rope in residents from those various communities to also work hand in hand with the police and also protect the EMS officials, and also come forward with information when an attack on the EMS officials does happen in their community.
No, CP Summit, thanks very much indeed. Really do appreciate it. Our reporter in Cape Town tonight.